Why did he leave so quickly? Why now? And why alone? Was it truly just another celebrity airport departure? Or is this sudden shift across continents a whisper aimed at someone who's no longer listening? In the glittering chaos of Paris Fashion Week, amidst the flashbulbs, the champagne, and the sharp-edged silhouettes of the Celine 2026 showcase, one figure stole the global spotlight and then vanished. Kim Taehyung, known across the world as V of BTS, had barely stepped back into the public eye after his military discharge when he made headlines for something far beyond fashion, a chilling silence between him and the one person who, for years, fans believed shared an unbreakable bond with him, Jungkook. But now that bond seems to have gone silent. And silence, in the world of BTS, often speaks louder than any song lyric ever could. When Taehyung boarded a flight to the United States just hours after making headlines in Paris, no one saw it coming. No advance notice. No press photos. No goodbye from the other members. Not even a digital trace left behind. Within minutes, airport staff confirmed he had left France. Within hours, armies began to speculate. And within a day, the entire internet was asking the same chilling question. Did Taehyung just send a message to Jungkook without ever saying a word? And if so, what is that message? The timeline is tight. The clues are subtle, but the emotional weight is undeniable. Taehyung, who once shared hotel rooms, harmonies, and heartbreaks with Jungkook, is now making moves that feel both intentional and painfully distant. Could this be the result of the Paris tension that fans sensed but couldn't prove? Is this a retaliation cloaked in silence? Or is it something far more complicated? Something not even the rest of BTS saw coming. Let's go back to where the cracks began to show. Paris wasn't supposed to be controversial. It was supposed to be a celebration. Taehyung's first international appearance since military discharge had all the markings of a triumphant return. Dressed in all-black Celine, flanked by global celebrities and trailed by media frenzy, he glided through the Parisian crowd like a man reborn. But it wasn't what was seen that raised eyebrows, it was what wasn't seen. No interaction with Jungkook. No subtle nods, no backstage moments, no behind-the-scenes footage. Fans who had hoped for even a single glance between them were left with nothing. Not a smile, not a comment, nothing. Some blamed scheduling. Others cited privacy. But for those who have followed the evolution of their friendship, one that once ignited armies with every shared laugh and offstage whisper, this distance felt loaded. IT felt like a warning. SO when Taehyung left Paris, not to return to Korea, but to disappear into the shadows of the United States. The whispers turned into sirens. A single image of him boarding a private flight surfaced online. No team, no smile, no trace of the usual fan service. Just a man with his head down, headphones in, and a suitcase trailing behind him like the weight of something unspoken. And then the Instagram story appeared, a black and white photo of clouds.
No caption, just the sky.
Empty, cold, and instantly familiar. Armies with sharp memories were quick to notice. Jungkook once posted a near-identical image during one of the most emotionally raw periods of his solo career. A time when he, too, was silent. When he, too, pulled away. Could Taehyung be mirroring him on purpose? Was this a cryptic callback? Or an act of emotional defiance? The question hangs in the air like fog over a runway. Is Taehyung responding to Jungkook's distance with his own? Because this wasn't just a physical departure. It wasn't just about leaving Paris. It felt like he was leaving something behind. Or maybe someone. But to truly understand the weight of this moment, we need to dive deeper, not just into where Taehyung is going, but what he might be leaving unsaid. We need to talk about the months of silence, the subtle changes, the missed moments, and the fan theories that, while once dismissed as fiction, are beginning to feel frighteningly real. Why has Jungkook never publicly acknowledged Taehyung's military discharge? Why was he absent from every post related to Taehyung's Paris appearance? Why does it seem like every member of BTS has slowly gone quiet whenever Taehyung is involved? Is it just coincidence? Or is this the sound of a fracture? What does it mean when a man known for his poetic captions, his symbolic photos, and his emotional transparency suddenly stops talking altogether? What do you do when silence becomes louder than truth? And what happens next? because Taehyung didn't go to Los Angeles for a fashion shoot. That much is becoming clear. No brand has claimed him. No schedule has been leaked. No photos have emerged of any official appearance. He is in the US, but for what? Some fans claim he's meeting someone. Others whisper about secret recording sessions, a solo statement album that will tell the story he can't yet put into words. And some, perhaps the most heartbroken among them, believe he went there to disappear, to get away from it all. From BTS, from Jungkook, from the weight of a bond that once felt eternal and now feels fractured beyond recognition. Is this a crisis? A creative escape? A message dressed as a disappearance? Whatever it is, one thing is certain. Taehyung's flight from Paris wasn't just about geography. It was about emotion, about control, about reclaiming the narrative in a world that refuses to stop speculating. And now that he's landed in America, all eyes are on what comes next. Will Jungkook break his silence? Will the members acknowledge what everyone already suspects? Or will this, like so many other stories in the world of BTS, be buried under layers of unspoken pain, masked smiles, and silent stages? We've only just begun to unpack the true weight of Taehyung's journey. But one thing is clear, this isn't just a trip. It's a reckoning. It's a warning. It's a love letter written in code. And every fan is trying to decipher the message, and perhaps so is Jungkook. And as the sun dipped beneath the Los Angeles skyline, casting golden shadows over empty boulevards, one name still lingered across trending hashtags, editorials, and private army group chats: Kim Taehyung. Not because of what he said, but because of what he didn't. In the era of oversharing, it is his silence that now echoes across the fandom like a thunderclap. Every step he takes in the United States is tracked. Every image, no matter how blurry or brief, is dissected by thousands of eyes looking for clues. Was he alone? Was he followed? Did he look happy, lost, sad content, or something else entirely? Even the way he walked, head slightly lowered, was enough to spark speculation. Why does he look burdened? Why does he look like he's carrying more than just a suitcase? But perhaps the better question isn't where is he going, but rather, what is he leaving behind? Because with each passing hour, it becomes increasingly clear, this isn't about fashion. This isn't about work. This isn't about leisure. This is personal. This is intimate. This is something sacred unraveling in real time. It's about a fracture that words can't fix. A rift so delicate that even fans are afraid to name it. For years, Taehyung and Jungkook stood as the golden heart of BTS, the magnates whose connection seemed forged in something deeper than music. But what if that connection was more fragile than we thought? What if behind every playful moment, every shared laugh, every glance on stage, there was pressure, expectation, a weight so heavy it could no longer be carried in silence? And now, with Taehyung wandering alone in a country where no member meets him, fans are left piecing together emotional fragments, trying to decode whether this trip is a call for help, a final goodbye, or a challenge issued across an invisible battlefield between two hearts once in sync. The absence of response from Jungkook, who once followed Taehyung like a shadow, is no longer seen as coincidence, it's seen as statement. And every hour that passes without interaction is like another thread unraveling from the fabric of their history. Where is Jungkook now? Why hasn't he said a word? Has he seen the story unfolding, or is his silence the answer we've been dreading? Some fans argue that Jungkook's silence is an act of respect, that he's giving Taehyung space, watching from a distance, waiting for the right moment to step in. Others believe this is no longer about time, but about choice. That Jungkook has made peace with the distance. That whatever needed to be said has already been said, privately, painfully, and permanently. But not everyone agrees. Among the army, a quiet hope still burns. Maybe this isn't the end. Maybe this trip is a mirror, a reflection of what Jungkook once did when he needed to escape. Maybe Taehyung isn't walking away from Jungkook, but walking toward him in a new way, through symbols, not statements. Through art, not arguments. There is one photo in particular that refuses to fade. The image of Taehyung's hand pressed against the airplane window, his reflection caught in the glass, eyes distant. It's blurry, it's raw, but it says more than any Instagram caption ever could. It says I'm here, but I'm not home. And maybe home isn't just a place. Maybe home was someone, Jungkook. The heartbreaking irony is that BTS, the very group that gave so much comfort to millions through their honesty, may now be trapped in their own silence. Taehyung walks alone. Jungkook disappears into digital fog. And the world watches, helpless, hopeful, heartbroken. We often speak of idols as eternal, unbreakable. But what happens when the bond we believed in becomes the very thing breaking them? And what if Taehyung's US journey isn't the beginning of a solo era, but the final echo of something beautiful dying in private? It's too early to know for certain. And that's what hurts the most. The uncertainty. The questions that grow louder in the silence. The fear that when the members finally reunite in 2026, something will be missing. A tension too visible to ignore. A wall too high to scale. A smile that no longer reaches the eyes. Or maybe, just maybe, this is the kind of storm that clears the sky. Maybe this trip is the first step toward healing, toward rebirth, toward truth. Because sometimes, before something great can begin again, it has to fall apart completely. Taehyung may not be ready to speak. Jungkook may not be ready to listen. But the message has already been sent. And armies all over the world are still listening, still waiting, still believing that even in the quietest moments, maybe especially in the quietest moments, there's still a chance for reconciliation. A single post, a single lyric, a single look, that's all it would take to change everything. But until then, we remain in the in-between, watching, waiting, wondering, because we all know the truth. This isn't just a trip. It never was.